Kaspar, what is strange about the stock that will be included in the main Dutch index, the AEX?
Yeah, that's a new stock. It's going to be in the index. When?
I think it's the 19th of December.
Yeah, so it's in 2 weeks' time, almost 10 days, and it's quite a bizarre kind of stock
Structure. Another question, will there be a Santa Claus rally this year?
Okay. But please, okay. The first question, I know the answer, and I will share it with you.
Okay.
But you know the answer about the Christmas rally.
Christmas rally, end of year's rally. Those are the also like the May situation, or selling in May, the January effect, all those kind of rules. Yeah, they are maybe not that important, but to be honest, there are quite some investors, they ask about it, especially now in December.
Will there be one this year?
First, let me explain a little bit more. It's the January effect I told you, that's an effect that's actually quite obvious that it exists, because in January for the S&P 500 from 1970 until 2019, the average gain of January was 1.4% of the S&P 500.
So you can say 1.4% in the plus. Let's say that in that period, shares of the S&P 500 performed 7% a year.
Yeah.
So it's around 0.6 a month. So if you have 1.4, you said 1.4 a month?
For January.
And it's an outperformer then.
It's an outperformer. And so that is a fact, historically speaking.
But it's also because a lot of people, they get a bonus in December or the beginning of January in the US, and they spend it, but also partly they invest it. So that's one of the underlying reasons.
So if we think that that's a fact, and it is a fact, you can also say, okay, so the people want to be invested in January.
Yeah.
So in December, you need to have positions. Maybe you had them already, but maybe also, like you said, people going to invest to utilize the January effect. So that could be a reason that in December there is also a positive return. And also a fact, the December month has an average gain of 1.12%. So still
much less.
Yes, but it's an outperformance.
Still double.
If you only have those 2 months every year, then you have an outperformance with the average S&P. So we're not speaking today about January and December. It's the real Santa Claus rally, and there are actually two kind of ways to look at it: the week before Christmas or after. So if you speak about the end of year rally, you must actually also know what specific week we are looking at.
This year, the 24th of December is on a Saturday, if I'm correct. So you can also, it's really, you have 2 weeks. 1 week before and 1 week after, exactly.
So that's the first thing you really need to know on what week we are speaking
about.
But the first week there was a survey. I found a survey of 20 years of the S&P 500, and the week before Christmas, there were 13 with a positive return, 5 negative, and 2 unchanged. But to be honest, the real average gain in that month was not really significant outperformance. So the conclusion was that it was not really a visible outperformance that week before Christmas. Still, it's a positive month.
So the month is more leading than the week before Christmas. And it's now the 9th of December.
Yes.
The first 9 days of the S&P this year in December were positive, negative?
That's also a good one. What can we do with this information for 2022? Well,
for the rest of the month.
Yeah, the situation on the 1st of December, the S&P was higher than today. So actually December this year has not been a good month until now.
So it's even a stronger signal that it will grow from now on until the end of the month.
I'm not sure where we can draw all the conclusions, but it's
on average, on average, yes.
On average, you should say if it's becoming a good December month, like on average always, there's something to come. Also, 2022 is of course not a good year until now. So, I mean, you were speaking about the S&P on average gaining, for example, 7%. This year, of course, the markets, including the S&P 500, are not good. They were even worse. They are recovering. So also that you should take in consideration. Maybe if people think, okay, we had the lowest point, we have recovered a little bit, maybe December can be like an extra boost. But yeah, I cannot give you the answer, unfortunately. But
No, but if you look at the statistics,
well, the
there's a
statistics.
good chance.
Well,
that from now
January
on-
and December are good months to be invested. So
Yeah,
actually,
it's always a little bit.
yeah. But I think I heard. I think you said it before. Like people use a lot of historical information, no? Like charts, and you could say this is also a fact, no? It's like if you
On average, you can say
on
that,
average,
yeah.
yeah, you can say I'm a December and a January investor.
Yeah. Okay, that is the S&P 500.
Yeah.
Now go to the Dutch market,
Yep.
AEX index.
Yes.
There will be a change now and then. So
Mhm.
there are only 25. There's not in the S&P 500 or 500 shares. There are only 25 biggest companies from the Netherlands. And Just Eat Takeaway will go out
Yep.
because they lost a lot of value, and there are some other characteristics that are taken in consideration. But they are going out, and Exor is going in. And Exor is probably for a lot of people a well-known company, and probably for a lot of people they never heard of it. If you are an Italian person, probably you have heard of it, especially the family that owns, because it's 20 or 52% owned by this family. Still, I'm going to talk a little bit about the history, by the family Agnelli. And they're from Turin. And the family, the father of the existing CEO, the father of the grandfather of the existing CEO, he was one of the founders of Fiat, the automotive company. Fabbrica Italiana Automobili Torino.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah, they started with 9 people, and 2 stayed, and Agnelli was one of them. And they went already to the stock market in 1906 with Fiat. And the family already had their first investment vehicle, that's that direction where I want to go in my story, in 1927.
Also a vehicle.
Also a vehicle, yeah. Yeah, okay. Also a vehicle. So there's nothing new for the family. And the Exor, that's the holding company that's going to be in the AEX. The Exor doesn't produce anything themselves. So a lot of investors say we should only incorporate real companies that produce something. And Exor is like Prosus is a holding company. What do they hold? Now, first of all, I said 50% by the family the shares are held by the family, and they have 85% of the voting rights. So they control at the end the whole investment policy of this vehicle. They are focused on the automotive sector. Stellantis, that's a big position that they have, and Fiat is part of it, Opel is a part of it, Peugeot is a part of it. You have more companies that are part of it. C&H, that's a company that produces materials for harvest, for example, tractors and everything. And the biggest position is Italian brand, nicest brand, Ferrari, yeah. 60% of the holding company exists out of shares Ferrari. So if you want to have a vision on the outlook of the company, you should first look at Ferrari. They have 22% of the economic rights of all the Ferrari shares that are on the market, and 26% of voting rights. So you see again, they like constructions where they have more voting rights than actual share rights. They also have, and those 3 companies, so that is C&H, Ferrari and Stellantis, that together the value of those 3 companies is the value of Exor. But they have more investments. They have, for example, Juventus. Almost 100 years they are the owner of Juventus. They have The Economist. They are Club Med, the owner of Club Med. They have wine houses. So you should be aware of that the 3 biggest holdings is the same as the value of the whole investment company. How is it possible? It's because they are a holding company. They are not active investors like, for example, Berkshire Hathaway. And if you have a holding company with this structure, the market demands a discount on the value, because they say, if we participate in it, we don't have anything to say, so we must have something in return for it, and that's a discount. Last week we spoke about Heineken, have also a similar structure where the family owns most of the voting rights. There you have a discount around 20%, and Exor has a discount around 45%.
I think that's interesting. If I can put it in my own words, so you buy actually the underlying companies indirectly, like Ferrari, but for a lower price, but you have, of course, the disadvantage that you cannot decide yourself to sell Ferrari. They are deciding, and you also have maybe companies that you don't want to have, but that's all included, and the discount is what you get.
Yeah, but the discount, so if you pay it with a discount, 45%, but if you sell it, you also sell it for the discount.
Okay, yeah.
And the market thinks that the discount will stay the same. If they, for example, they start to be an active managed fund, then the discount will be less, so that will be good for you. But because the family holds this kind of structure for more than 100 years, the market thinks
not likely.
No. And also you have a 2 membership of board. The board exists out of 2 people. And that's of course also from a corporate governance perspective not really democratic. And it's funny, the existing CEO, he's 44 now, and he became a member of the board when he was 21.
So,
because his grandfather said that he was also 21 when he became in the board of Fiat. In the board of Fiat he entered in, and when he was, I think, 30 years old, he was already CEO because some family members, they died unfortunately, so he became a really young CEO, and he's the boss of Exor. Why did they choose? Because they moved their holding structure in August of this year from Italy to the Netherlands. That's why now it can be incorporated in AEX. You have to have your holding structure in the Netherlands. And what I understood is that they have only an office in Amsterdam with a couple of people, administrators and some lawyers, legal persons, I think, and nothing more than that. So they don't produce. But if you look at Ferrari, they have the holding structure also in the Netherlands. So it's not that strange. But some investors say, yeah, but we don't need this. Is not a typical Dutch company, so it should not be in the AEX. But yeah, that's we can discuss about it, and I don't have a strong opinion about it. But why did they choose the Netherlands? Because they have another thing. If you have the shares of Exor and you hold them for 5 years, you get 5 extra voting rights per share. If you hold them for 10 years, it is 10. And that structure only exists in the Netherlands. That's why they chose the Netherlands.
Well, for the Netherlands, it's interesting to receive such a company, no, in the index. Juventus, Ferrari.
And the funny thing is, I think the last time that in the Dutch AEX was an automotive company, it was in the 80s, was DAF. So if you look at from an investment perspective and you invest in the AEX, then you have now another sector in it, automotive sector.
That's interesting.
So that's a positive fact. Okay, then the outlook. So what do the market think about this share? It's trading at 74, and this year it has a profit per share of 12 something. So it's a price earning of 12 times, around 12 times. So that's good. But the market thinks that next year the profit per share will go down from 12 something to 10 something. So then still you have a profit per share of around 7.5. So still really interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't understand it completely, because if you look at the biggest positions that they hold, Ferrari for 60%, the profit per share this year is €5. And next year the market expects €6. So that's an increasement of 20%.
Yeah.
So from 12 to 10 is around 20% decline, but the biggest holding, the market thinks it will be an increasement of 20%. There's a discrepancy. This goes somewhere. Maybe it's in Juventus.
There we have it. You are investing not only in Ferrari, but in the vehicle.
Well, what's happening with Juventus?
We saw it in the news, like there are problems in the board, and the board resigned because of
fraud.
Yeah.
Probably fraud.
That's
and the CEO is a nephew of the CEO. The CEO of Juventus is a nephew of the CEO of Exor. So it's really related to each other, and there's a fraud. So maybe the market thinks that that's going to be a big one, and it will influence the whole profit per share for Exor. But if you look at Ferrari, the market thinks it's an increasement. So to summarize, Exor is the new player in town in Amsterdam since August. We explained why, and now they will incorporate it in the AEX. So I think it's an interesting. It's a bizarre but an interesting share. I think
so. Yes.
And the market will go up from the rest of the month.
Could be.
The Christmas rally.
We will see. Thank you very much.
Thank you.